How you doing, YouTube? Matt Master Beer Reviews back with some homebrew, baby. Homebrew Wednesday. Who doesn't love that? This guy loves that. This comes courtesy of my New Jersey brethren, Anthony, and he sent me this with a mystery beer. That was already been posted. You can go check that one out. It was probably around the 12th or something like that I posted it. Anyway, this is a homebrew that he kind of helped make with a friend, and this is Flying Ears Brewery. He says you can check them out in Untapped, or you can, it says, Hoppy Honey Coffee Pale Ale. So you're talking about honey base, you're talking about coffee, and a pale ale. Kind of an interesting mix. We'll see what's what with that. Nice little, soft little hiss on there. So there's nothing overly aggressive for carbonation-wise. There's nothing going sideways. First things first. What do we got? Blue painter's tape, Dogfish Head bottle, game. What does that look like? It definitely has the clarity of what you'd expect from an OG kind of pale ale, but it definitely doesn't have that color. Now you're dealing with honey, you're dealing with a coffee addition, so it's going to skew it a little bit in color. I guess you could say pale ale, but it's not so much of a pale ale, so in and of itself is a little bit off. But other than that, what does it look like to me from a distance? If I didn't know what this was, just like a washed out kind of Belgian double kind of look to it. So let's see what this nose has to offer. I mean, there's definitely coffee in here, but it's very much just the bittering component of the coffee, not like a rich roasty component. And there's a soft kind of soapy vibe to it. A little bit of soft soapy vibe and a little pop of a rich semi-sweetened kind of honey. Honey is semi-fermentable. It doesn't ferment all the way out. So you can still have a little bit of that kind of sweetened kind of sugariness from a honey in a beer. More often than not, it's more of a mouthfeel thing for me. But you can definitely get a soft little honey in there. That kind of coffee leads the way. Even though it's not a huge 2x4 to the face, it's definitely that bittering portion of the coffee leads the way. That's pretty much it. Not much else to it. Doesn't smell negative. I mean, that little soapy thing some people might be a little bit off put by, but it doesn't really bother me. Let's dive in. Cheers. It's got a really, really nice mouthfeel. Exactly opposite what I expect when I have a honey beer, which is quite nice. It's got this nice soft creaminess. Reminds me more of a cream ale kind of vibe than a pale ale. That coffee, again, follows through with a big bittering component. You know, there's really not much as far as the coffee to it, except for that bittering component. It's almost like, you over roasted. It's like like a store-bought kind of middle of the run kind of coffee that you kind of over burnt a little bit. That's how the coffee's coming off to me. The mouthfeel is fantastic. Soft creaminess to it. Just a little bit of that density that I get from honey in there. Not much as far as sweetness. It's definitely not a sweet beer. And kind of that how bittering that coffee leads with how bittering I assume the hops are bringing in. It's that double punch of that bittering. Kind of tempers on any kind of overt sweetness. Leads all the way with bittering. But doesn't get overly bittering. So maybe the honey is kind of helping out with that. And even though it does have that little bit of density, that flabbiness that honey brings to the table for me more often than not, it does have a really cool, nice, soft mouthfeel to it. It's probably my favorite part of the whole beer is that soft mouthfeel. So yeah, interesting beer. Let's put it that way. Is it one of my favorite homebrews I've had? I usually, and it's not really what this is all about, but it's fun. It's interesting. I like the take. I like the twist. I like the fuckduckery of coffee and honey in a pale ale, and it's quite nice. I'm going to drink the whole thing. Let's put it that way. That's pretty much it. That's how I do the homebrew reviews. No rating. No, is it awesome? Is it whatever? Just kind of talk about it and just appreciate that someone sent me off some homebrew. So there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoy the little homebrew review. If you did, email me. massivebeers@gmail.com. Always looking for Homebrew Wednesdays. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Massive Beers, type that in the Googs. Beer Massif. Massif. You can type that into Google and you'll find me talking in audio format, doing a lot of podcasting stuff. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of homebrew right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.